¿Cómo está? Hello, guys. I'm going to sit on the floor here actually because I'm going to make this try to make this simple, and I got to show a little bit that I'm still flexible, and it goes along with what I'm going to talk about today, which is going to be a subject that I just heard a very famous YouTube doctor talk about. I love the guy; he does a great job. But he just mentioned the substance I'm going to talk about a little bit today is 3NB. And that's actually a substance that's in celery, which makes it one of the most powerful natural substances out there for healing power. And as he states in his thing, and I have for years, actually I've been talking about 3NB for at least 15 years, and I've been suggesting it to many clients, all of which have been charitable. So I mean, I had nothing to sell. I mean, I'm not, any of the things that I've done almost the last 20 years have been virtually all charitable, probably 98% of it, 99% of it. But anyway, the celery, I'm almost 56 years old. Now, I don't have any pain whatsoever. Now, most of you guys that have seen some of my videos know I've suffered from congenital heart disease for, since I was a young man. But as far as pain goes, joints, all that other stuff, and I'm not one that does a lot of exercising. I just got back from walking a mile at the track, which was great. Is inside. I'd rather be outside, but either way, I don't have any any joint pain. I don't have inflammation or anything like that. That really stops me from getting out and moving. So one of the reasons for that, obviously, is having the proper nutrition. It's usually almost always about toxicity and lack of nutrition when it comes to inflammation or anything else. But irregardless, we're gonna talk about the 3NB, which is derived from, of course, as I've said before. Oh, make sure I spell that right. Celery. And celery, for me, I'm going to give a couple examples here, actually, of some folks that I've worked with. Actually, 3 of them have been family members as well, but many people over the years. But I want to give you one of the best cases, and then you go ahead and do your own research. And there's tons of research on 3NB. And again, it's pretty simple. Like I've stated before in my notes for years, and what I did as far as eliminating kidney stone that I had. The one time I had a kidney stone, which is pretty miserable. Anybody that's had them, you know. And I eliminated that by slamming 2 glasses of celery juice with lemon, all within about 10 minutes. And that stone, after about 8 or 9 hours, passed within 5-10 minutes of drinking that celery juice. And there's a very good reason for it. It dilates the vessels and stuff like that, and it'll dilate also the urinary tract and the urethra and ureter, and everything that's going along that trail. So within like I said, probably 5 minutes of drinking that juice, and I knew it was going to happen. I expected it, very clearly expected it, because I've seen it. I've suggested it for years. I just never had a kidney stone, and I passed it 5 minutes later, and tink, and it was gone. So anyway, the 3NB is one of those major anti-inflammatory substances that is phenomenal. It's been known for since the 16th century, and used as medicine. As Socrates said far before that, let food be your medicine and medicine be your food. And there's good reason for that, is because it truly is. So let me give you an example that I'll give you my example of my father first. Yeah, and he had rotator cuff problems for years, at least 10 years. It was pretty serious, but he's a tough guy and kind of stubborn, so he just dealt with it. He never got it looked at or anything else, and he had very, very little mobility, but he just worked his way through it like usual. And finally, after quite a few years, I got him to take a quart of celery juice each and every day, and it was just celery juice. I don't recall us mixing anything else in with it, but it's just pure celery juice. And I said you could put some stevia in it or something like that, but whatever the case, pure celery juice, a quart of it a day, and within about 10 days, he had full mobility of his rotator cuff, and he hadn't had any pain for years following that. Just those 10 days or so. And if somebody wants to call it a placebo effect, great, because as we know now with the science, placebo, mind over matter is actual science and fact. So but it's not placebo. There's all kinds of science behind it. It's actual functional reasons, because it rebuilds tissue and stuff like that, and it eliminates inflammation in a big way. So anyway, long story short, He took that for 10 days and it was gone. He had no more problems. About 5 years later, he had a flare-up. He took the celery juice again, about a quart a day for 3 or 4 days, and that was the end, and that's been about 10 years. So that's it total, and he's had no problems. He's 91 today, and, or what is it, yeah. Well, no, actually he's 90, and he's still going strong. Okay, so the other case was one of the main cases that I helped with, a gentleman. He was becoming wheelchair bound. As a matter of fact, he was going on Social Security disability. He was a trucker. He was probably about 100 pounds overweight, but which absolutely doesn't help. But irregardless, he had major problems with his spine. And without getting too technical, because I can't remember a lot of the terms, but either way, much of his spine was fused together. He told me about it. I suggested that was one of the first times I ever suggested somebody use that after I had juiced with celery juice for years. This was probably about 15 years ago. Well, actually maybe about 12. I suggested that he do that at a meeting that we were at together with a kind of a house church thing. And he started taking a quart a day of this fresh celery juice that he juiced himself. And I saw him about a month later, and he came running up to me. Jogging, actually, he came jogging up to myself and my wife with a bunch of other people around. He said, Todd, I can tell you what's... And, I could see, obviously, something was different. But he could barely walk when I saw him. And again, he was going on Social Security, and he was losing his trucking. He couldn't truck anymore. And he wasn't that old, probably, early 50s. And he ended up doing as I asked, and he told me that he felt no pain anymore, which he was in severe pain, all kinds of medications. He said that he had gone to the pain clinic that he had been going to, had an x-ray done after he had done this, and they looked at him kind of dumbfounded and said, do you realize that all the fusing in your spine is not there anymore? It's disappeared? And he said, yeah, I got a friend, which was a beautiful thing. It made me smile when he said that, but it's sad that you've got to hide that, but what's cheaper, 6 to 30 days of celery juice, or well, obviously tens of thousands of dollars and hundreds of thousands of dollars in pain care and all the other stuff that goes along with that, surgeries, you name it. I don't know, I haven't seen the guy lately, but I know that years after he was doing phenomenally well. So the point being is, do your own research. You don't have to take my word for it. I don't really give a rip. I mean, I'm here to try to help people and keep people out of pain. I've been there myself, and I don't want it for people, so I want to reach out. So you go ahead and you research the 3NB. You take your celery juice and talk to your doctor about it if that's the wise thing to do. You do need sodium. You just don't need the garbage that they have on the table most of the time. That's a third sand, a third glass, and a third sodium. Keep it with the sea salt, add the iodine, get your celery, do the things that you need to do to get rid of that pain, start eating a little better, and celery juice along with some other green juices and proper fruits can go an awful long way for minimizing the inflammation that you're probably suffering with. So give it a shot. This was a real simple video, and this is the way I want to keep it. So I'll give you the suggestions and lead you the way, and hopefully that you can do a little bit of research yourself and get out of pain. Okay, love you guys. Take care. Salamat.